What's up, everybody? Joystick Jabber here. We are a podcast that talks about games, game news, sometimes some pop culture stuff as well. I am Ryan, aka Sly Spy Gaming, and this is Nick, aka FLCLAFI. And yeah, we're bringing you the game news for this week, and I guess technically like the month. But yeah, usually we started off with just talking about what we have been up to. So, what have you been up to?
Right. My mic was muted. But so far, I mean, I'm still just playing Prince of Persia, but I also kind of touched Tekken 8 a bit.
Yeah.
I would kind of want to finish Prince of Persia before I really go into Tekken 8 because it does have a story mode, and it's probably going to be pretty crazy. Yeah, I think it's only like 3 to 4 hours long, so it shouldn't take too long to get through it. But for fighting games now, like especially if they feature a story mode, it's kind of one of those things where you want to finish the story first before really going into anything else. Especially in MK1's case,
Yeah.
because like everything spoils the ending of MK1 story if you just jump into it. But yeah, so I'm still in Prince of Persia. I think I'm getting close to the end, but there's a lot of side stuff I got to do exploration wise.
Are you doing that on as episodic as well?
For the free roam stuff, I've been including the side quests in the parts, but I think for the rest of the collectible gathering, I'll probably just do a live stream for it where I'm just running around and cleaning everything up.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a 100% playthrough, but because of Ubisoft not knowing how to make games, it'll be a 99% playthrough because there's a bug side quest.
Oh.
So there's actually 2 bug side quests. There is the Moon Gatherer where you talk to him, then he gives you accept his mission, then he's like, "Oh, here I have something to give you," and then you're stuck there, you can't move. You can fix that one. There's like numerous ways to try and fix it. You can either decline the quest, leave, and come back, and then accept it. And then it sometimes works. You can switch it from borderless to full screen.
Oh.
Or you can cap the frame rate to 60 FPS. And apparently on consoles...
Such a weird fix.
Yeah. And apparently on consoles, if you turn off your controller and turn it back on again, that might fix it. That's how you'd get past the Moon Gatherer, which that worked for me, but...
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah. The Moon Gatherer is supposed to leave the area when you're done talking to him, but for me, after accepting the quest, the camera was stuck, but I could move, so I could leave the area still. I didn't know I had to go back in to actually get him to move, so I thought the quest was still bugged. But that ended up working. But then there's another one called the Treasure of the Seven Seas, and it's in the Sunken Harbor. You talk to the guy, then you accept the quest, and it gets stuck again. There's only like 6 to 8 side quests in that game. So for this many bugs for them, it's like either they didn't have play testers, but they also patched the game like 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the game is like relatively new too, isn't it? It just came out like a week or 2 ago, right?
Yeah, I think it came out last week. Yeah, but they patched it like 2 or 3 times, and so far I have no idea what those patches were for. Because
they don't have patch notes or anything.
No, well I think one of them did, but I don't remember what it said.
Miscellaneous fixes. I love when you see the patch notes like that.
That is usually Ubisoft patch notes, but so they apparently never play tested the side quests in that game because a ton of them are messed up. And then even with that quest that won't start on mine, for most people it does start. What you have to do is you have to go find a bird for somebody and bring it back to them. But what happens to most people is they find the bird and then the bird just disappears and then they can't bring it back. So the quest is just basically stuck. So it's either you don't get the quest at all or you do it and then you can't finish it. So either way, they must not have had a lot of playtesters for the side quests because those seem wildly unfinished. But everything else with the main story is working fine. But, I mean, I'll 100% it if they fix that. Otherwise, it's going to be everything but that quest.
You just got to put, instead of, like, for your YouTube video title, 100% completion, just 99% complete
99.9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what it's going to have to be. But I can only 100% if the devs allow me to.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, that's FLCLAFI's channel, which you can find in the description if you're on YouTube. He does a lot of playthroughs of games, like right now doing Prince of Persia. You just finished up Undead Nightmare, right?
Yeah.
The DLC for Red Dead Redemption 1. Also, you've done tons, man. You went through the entire like Harry Potter series of games,
Yep.
like
I
bunch
did
of
a bunch
crap.
of Wild West games, like Call of Juarez,
I
Gun.
completely forgot about your Wild West series. Yeah.
We did
So-
some Star Wars games for a little bit. Jedi Survivor, Force Unleashed series, Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys should definitely go and check those out. That's about it.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing. I mean, with Tekken 8, I just played a few online matches and then was just in the tutorial for a bit. That's basically
Getting the feel for it. What do you think of it so far?
I mean, it feels really nice. They added some new features that could make it easier for new players, like I think it's called Special Mode. You just tap the left bumper and it shortcuts a bunch of your combos. You can see when other people are using it, though.
Special mode for special people.
Yeah. I mean, you press like 2 buttons and it does like an entire chain for you. But
That's pretty nice. That's what I need.
And then the heat mode, yeah. Well,
But
that's
I
what
play as-
Harangue already does.
Yeah, I was gonna say I play as Harangue, so I guess he's probably like one of the easiest characters to be able to just pick up and be like, wow, I'm really good at this.
And him and Eddie Gordo are probably like the 2 easiest ones.
And what's the girl from
Lucky
the last
Chloe?
one? Yeah, Lucky Chloe. Yeah.
Well, she was like capoeira fighting style as well, but I'm glad she's not back. But yeah, I just jumped into online to just try to get the online achievements done right away before everybody's insanely good at the game. Although I couldn't get a player match because everybody sitting in player match lobbies never hit the ready button. They're just like, I think I'm gonna sit in the lobby and just relax.
Nice.
So
That's good.
I got a ranked and
That's weird. I would feel like it's weird that you have to ready up.
yeah,
So,
the
like,
player match thing is like a room system.
That's weird to
Yeah.
me. Is it what is there like multiple people that can be in the room, or is there only 2 people?
It can be multiple, but you can set the
okay.
number. I was just joining once where there was only one other person, and they would it gives you like a countdown to ready up, and then it'll unready both players if both aren't ready.
They need to change that.
Well, otherwise they'd just be idle. But it gives you like 12 seconds to ready up, and then if the other person doesn't ready up and it counts down all the way, it resets both players back to 12. And so I was just sitting there, and I tried like 5 different lobbies with one other person. All of them were just sitting there doing nothing.
It needs to be like the like King of the Hill for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That room. Well, the player, they should have a completely like separate thing for that. I feel like player match should just be just a normal versus match online with no ranks.
Yeah, that's what quick match is.
Oh,
But it doesn't count as a player match.
okay.
So I won a quick match, but I didn't get the achievement for winning a player match. So that's
a very odd name to get something like that.
I mean, they did have like stability issues for the online on the launch day, but today apparently they did a server side thing for it that apparently fixed it. Because I did get stuck in a lobby. I readied up and then it said I left the session even though I was still in it. And then there's like a network connection symbol on the bottom right, and it was just sitting there. I had to force close the game.
The servers get all screwed up or something?
It never gave me a message. I just had to force close the game. But apparently it was
Interesting.
having online issues on launch day. But I mean, one thing they did better than Mortal Kombat right out the gate is it has crossplay, just right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which has been like a feature in fighting games for a while.
Well,
I mean, MK11.
I thought they used to have crossplay. didn't they?
MK11 had crossplay between consoles on, like PS4 and Xbox One and stuff
Oh.
like that, but it didn't work with PC.
Probably because of.
Well, at the
cheaters or
time, the PC version was also getting updates at a slightly different time, so it wouldn't have worked. But with MK1, they have been updating it at the same time as the consoles. But
And I remember like they have always had issues with, like, at least up until like MKX. Like they never even had this stuff on PC, and then they add MKX to PC, and then it's like they had some weird issue where it reset everyone's progress. I know because it happened to me.
yeah, well, MK9 was on PC.
But there was something weird with it. Like it didn't have controller support or something like that, right?
No, it did. The only issue MK9 had was that the online netcode was terrible. And they would sometimes if you would activate, like if you would go to the main menu with keyboard, it would have different profile stats than if you'd go to the main menu with a controller.
I thought there was something though for like if you were playing not co-op, but local versus matches where you had to like one player had to use the keyboard or something.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
The same people ported MKX to PC at the time, and the MKX PC port was terrible when it first came out. The save wipe bug was actually a problem with the Steam Cloud and that game specifically.
Well, yeah, because it wouldn't like it was something to where it like wouldn't save on the Steam Cloud.
It would like sync
old
it would sync
save.
old data. Yeah,
that happened to me. Like I had pretty much the entire crypt unlocked.
Well, yeah, that was at the time where because when it came out on PC the first week, you would get like 1,000 coins every fight, which was like 10 times more than you would normally earn.
Yeah. But yeah, so that I was like, well, this sucks. I don't want to go through all that again because I was just giving him tons of crap. I was giving you tons of crap. I'm like, yeah, I got all the crypt finished, and then my save just gets completely wiped.
Because I had it on PS4 when it first came out.
That's what I get, I guess. It's karma.
Because I got the collector's edition. Because they don't make those on PC.
Because you were thinking about getting it on PC, and you're like, oh, well, it comes with like all this extra stuff if I get it the collector's edition on PS4. So you went that route. And it was a good strategy because you didn't have.
I have it on PC now, but because it was high voltage that did the ports, but because the PC port for X was so bad, that's when they finally brought in Q-Lock later, and then Q-Lock because they originally said that they weren't going to bring the XL version to Steam, that they were just done supporting it, but that's when they got Q-Lock to finalize all of those updates. And then Q-Lock was the ones who ported MK11. They're also the ones who ported MK1. So they do a lot better job. They have some issues here and there, but the thing that I actually like with Q-Lock, though, is they do sometimes push updates that are specific to the PC version.
Yeah, I did note. I noticed that when, for the small time that I was covering Mortal Kombat 1, that they were specific because I did some update covers, and they had specific like PC section of specific updates that they did just for that. So they're optimizing it more for the PC platform because.
Well, and even like in MK11, they gave PC players the ability to uncap the frame rate in the crypt, the menus, and like the end screens, like fatalities and intros and outros and stuff like that, which they didn't do that for console. And then the other thing they did for PC was they give them like the 4K cinematic packs, which is a different download, but they're huge. They do that for PC because they don't have to worry about the space that they would take up on console. But so yeah, because they did come out with a 4K cinematic pack for MK1 as well. So I mean, at least
60?
Q-Lock. No, they haven't done that for MK1 yet because they did that and people liked it in 11, so they just naturally didn't do it for 1 because they don't want to do things people actually want.
Actively trying not to make this another Mortal Kombat 1 rant.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing newsworthy, I guess, in MK1's case would be they finally fixed the Combat League desync issue for consoles.
Yeah.
Which has been a problem for over a month now. They fixed it right when Tekken 8 came out, so they probably have a plan with that.
Yeah,
that's basically MK1's position right now, and the fact that people are just still mad about premium shop stuff, but that's warranted.
I have been a couple things. So I've been still playing Baldur's Gate. That game is long as hell. So I had thought that I got out of Act 1. I didn't actually get out of Act 1 until last night. I thought I'd been out of Act 1 for like at least like a week.
Well, dude, you got to pay attention to the achievements.
And then I get an achievement that's like, you got past Act 1. But that's something that Larian Studios had said. They're like, most of the players in this aren't even past Act 1.
Yeah, you'd have to check the percentage of unlocks.
Of people that have that achievement. Yeah. Which is crazy. I mean, Act 2 is a little bit annoying, but I've found a way around it, which is using more of the different spells. The game is just nuts. So like in Act 2, there's a whole thing where it's like the whole map is darkness. If you're outside of any sort of a light source, you start getting hurt by the darkness, which is really, really annoying, especially when you're traveling with like your group of characters and one person has like a lamp or something like that. and then inevitably people fall behind. They're like, ugh, ugh, and then they start getting hurt. But I ended up figuring out a way to like I have all of my characters shining super brightly. It's pretty cool. So it pretty much negates the entirety of the dark effect. But no, I mean I love the game so far. Just how many different routes and stuff that you can just go with the entirety of the story, even from Act 1 into Act 2. There's multiple ways to get into Act 2. It's crazy to me. Additionally, I just started playing another game that has just recently come out. It's not necessarily, so I thought that it's an indie developer. I think they're called Keen Games, but it's Enshrouded. You were on my stream for it a little bit.
Yeah.
But so I believe that the studio is Keen Games, and they have like 50 some people. The only game that I had really seen them make is this game. So they're a newer studio, which is something that I actually like to see, because we know with some of those with some of those older big studios, it's they got one thing on their mind.
Yeah.
The money. So yeah, I've been playing that. That's a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of something like Valheim mixed with Zelda. I don't think there's as much in it as Zelda, but it's currently in early access, so I'm excited to see what there is for the future. I talked with another Kick streamer that I know pretty well. We did a kind of a world. I'm in like in his world. He plays it obviously when I'm not there too, but I've been a part of that, and he's talked a little bit about it, where it does seem like there has to be more in the game, but it is in early access, so I'm hoping that that's something that they'll add, like more bosses, more things to do. Like they already have a currency system in the game,
Probably through the course of a decade.
Yeah, we'll see how rapidly they come out. But it's not a small studio. Like I said, there's 58 people working at this studio, so like it's a relatively big one. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the main things I've been up to, main games I've been playing. Enshrouded's definitely, to me, I really like it. It's a nice game to like just sit back. Like I said, very similar to the newer Zelda games. Just not as much building, but the like destructible environments is really, really cool to me. There's a lot that you can really do with that, and I can see the building aspects of the game getting pretty complex too. So yeah, I'm excited to see where the game ends up going, and I'm only like scratched the surface on it. If you guys want to see it, go and check out Sliced by Gaming YouTube channel.
Enshrouded, well, yeah, since it's early access, it's probably only PC.
Yeah, PC. I believe it's PC only.
I would imagine. I know Sony probably would not allow early access.
Yeah.
Microsoft maybe, but it's probably PC only for now.
I'm assuming.
I mean, unless they have bigger ambitions later.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, it seems like a game that is planning on getting bigger. Because I think this is like one of its first titles, I believe.
Yeah. So it goes to show you. I mean, Fntastic complained that their first big game had too much trouble for it, and that they couldn't. There was too big of a scale that they couldn't do it. Because people just had too high of expectations.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at Enshrouded.
And the world is massive, beautiful. Yeah. There's like bug-wise, you don't see the enemies' heads getting massive over like the.
No, it's just Fntastic's just not a good development studio.
I mean, it runs very well. There's obviously some things that I think that they could change
in an early access
or add into it, which I'm sure they probably will be. Like I said, they kind of already have like a currency type of ecosystem. They could expand on that with the towns that they have and
microtransactions.
They could add microtransactions, battle passes. Seasons. They could add that.
That's when you'll love it more.
Everything that all the people love, just add it. Yes. Yep. The gear, specifically, I would love to see them go Diablo route. $45 gear sets.
That's what most people would want.
Love it. Yep. Anything that they can do to make me have to pay more money for the game.
The sign of a good game is when a piece of armor costs $20 or more.
Yeah. $20. Yeah, right, dude. No, I think that probably was where it got. Actually, no, it didn't cost $20. It cost 20
5 or 6
rune token.
It costs whatever it's
tokens.
supposed to make you buy something twice.
Yeah.
Remember the atoms on 76?
Oh yeah.
The lowest atom pack would give you like just shy of like 100 of whatever something costs.
Yeah. It was like something would cost like 600 atoms, and you could buy the pack for 500 atoms, or the pack for 1,000 atoms, which is like $5 or $10.
Yeah, so they'd make you spend 10. And then
wow,
you'd get the 1,000, but 2 items would cost 1,200.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to if you wanted 2 things, it would cost $15.
Yep. Yeah, if you wanted the pair of whatever you were trying to get. Yeah.
That's what they always do.
Or there's the discount, where you get it both of them together for $1,100.
No, they'd do the one for $20, but you get like a bonus 500 atoms for spending 20.
Yeah.
So they would, it's just designed to make you spend more.
Yeah, smart.
Not really, because I just didn't buy anything. I mean, that's what the normal mindset should be. It's like, okay, well then I'm just not going to buy anything.
Yeah.
But, well, no, they do have people that do buy it.
It's not though. That's the problem. That's why it's smart.
Yeah.
I would very, very much hope that they do not go that route. Cool. So the game can also it can have 16 people servers. So 16 people can be active in the world at one time. Problem with that though is that there's only it's a combined quest line. So it's like a first come first serve in the world for the quests, which is really weird to me.
Well, it wasn't that kind of like when Fallout 76 started. You needed to pick up like the audio logs to progress the quest. But if someone had already looted it, you would have to go into a different lobby.
Well, that was like an unintentional thing, but I feel like it should be more along the lines of your specific character should have to like go through the quest, which is I'm sure at some point, because I've seen a lot of complaints on it. I'm sure at some point it's something that they will change. I would hope
they might have intended that at first, but then they probably didn't have something in place to where, say, 2 people happen to be doing the exact same quest at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They probably didn't have something implemented where the game logic would know how to figure that out. Like, so you had to defeat like a boss type enemy. There's already someone there doing it.
Yeah.
It probably is like.
Well, yeah. So the thing is it like me. I joined my friend Yuppie on Kick. I joined his world, and then I had his quests. It's like I didn't have my own character quests.
Yeah.
So that's what was really weird to me.
Yeah, it would depend. I mean, if it might just be how the world logic works, so it might be harder to change than it would seem.
The funny thing is, I believe you can have multiple characters. So like, I would think that it would be character specific progression just across your own specific character, you know?
Yeah, there might be a reason why it's not though.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how, but that's definitely something that they have to look into, because that would make it to where you don't really want to play it. I mean, I guess the good thing about that is that if you do finish it in someone else's world, you can still do it in your own. But otherwise that's pretty much it. I've been doing some editing, a little bit of Texas Chainsaw. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority. Also, on the Steam Deck, to put me to sleep at night, I will usually put on why can't I think of the name right now? The
Slay the Spire.
Yes, Slay the Spire. Wow, man, my brain is just mush. I've been playing a little bit of Slay the Spire, so
that's an endorsement. Put yourself to sleep.
What? Oh yeah. So play it. If you guys want to go to sleep, play it. No, just because it's something easy. I mean, it's a really fun game to actually just play on the handheld. I mean, even when I'm not going to sleep, but that's just typically when I'll play it because I'll have my desktop. But I'm like, well, I can't be sitting in bed like playing Texas Chainsaw, so I'll put that on, and it's just a pretty like comforting kind of, well, sometimes it's comforting, sometimes it's like hectic and stressful, but no, it's a good time. Usually instead of putting me to sleep, it'll typically keep me up till like 3 a.m. and I go and lay down at like midnight, so it'll make me want to keep playing. I'm like, no, I gotta go to sleep. But no, I've also been doing that.
Sleep.
Yeah, I know. No one knows. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably that pretty much covers what we've been up to. I haven't really been watching too much in terms of like shows. I've been watching some just on Max. I've been watching some Mythbusters, or just having it on more so in the background. But also I've tried to watch a little bit more of What If, and I just there's an episode where they're completely talking in a different language.
Oh, the Native American one?
Yeah.
That's like a whole new original story.
I was wondering, I was like, is this like someone I'm supposed to know? No. I thought that it might be like the Mayan culture because it seemed like the Spanish had attacked. So I thought that it was like the Mayan culture from Black Panther.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have no idea who this person is. I was watching with my wife. She's like, if you have no idea, I don't have any idea.
It's a completely new character.
Okay, interesting. Is she based on some like a comic character or something?
I don't know.
Because were you like, who is this person?
Yeah, I looked it up, and the only thing that came up, it was the What If. That's it.
It's like, what if this person rebuilt the world? I'm like, I guess, what if they did? I don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
It's like, I had thought that the whole What If thing was supposed to be based on people that are like relevant to the main story of the thing.
They will be now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if she's supposed to be a character. Mm-hmm. But then I had also thought, because I hadn't seen Echo, that I was like, well, I know that that's like a whole thing too. Is she based on like an Echo character? But I guess that's also not the case, right?
No, there is something with Echo that, like, you know how in What If, like, you saw the whole episode, right?
No, I skipped it. I watched half of it, and I was like, dude, I'm not sitting here just reading the rest of this.
Well, like, I mean, you've probably seen far enough in to know, like, their powers come from the Tesseract.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's like things of Echo where they have like they show something similar to like maybe the Tesseract has to do with, but it wouldn't make sense in her case because she's not a What If story. Like their Tesseract didn't do the same thing in that timeline, so I don't know. The way they do Echo's powers, they kind of just shoehorn it in, and it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know if they actually have a plan with that or not.
So I know that that's not from the same timeline, but like that was the whole thing though, because she fell in the water and she got like transported to a different. Was it a different timeline?
It was like in the
reality?
Tesseract.
Oh, that's like what the lake is.
Yeah, like the Tesseract like absorbed her.
Huh. Yeah, see that's the thing too, is like I was eating, and like I'm sitting there eating, and then they're doing all this talking. I'm like, dude, I can't watch it. I had to skip it.
Racist.
But then I think the next episode is more on that, isn't it?
No, the character does come back though.
Okay. Okay, so it's a vital episode, of course, to the entirety of the season.
It's all connected.
So I gotta watch it. Like apparently.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching anything.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the Marvels on the last one. Watched that. I personally enjoyed that quite a bit, more than I definitely thought I was going to.
Yeah, it's your favorite MCU movie now.
Apparently, did you know they're making an Incredibles 3?
No.
I just found out about that today.
I don't even know if I've ever seen the second one.
Yeah, I mean it's a superhero movie, essentially. I mean the first one was amazing. First one was really good.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
I don't really remember too much actually from the second one either.
I don't even know if I've seen it. If I did, it would have been on TV, but I just didn't fully watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't usually watch too many animated stuff like that from like Pixar or Disney.
Yeah. I mean, The Incredibles just like Incredibles was just a good movie. Like growing up as a kid, it was good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess game news wise, one of the bigger titles like is like blown up this week.
Surprisingly, well, I guess it's not surprising.
There's just been so much news on it, and like the pace of the news that's coming out is just so fast.
Yeah.
So Palworld, I think that it was actually like it was something that I don't know if it was released this week or last week, or when it was released.
Maybe the end of last week. Yeah, I don't know the exact day either.
But yeah, Palworld blew up, man. Everybody is playing this game, and I've watched a little bit of gameplay on it. I still don't understand. I haven't played it myself, which I guess I probably should. But what it's like Pokemon with guns.
Yeah, it seems like it's still also like the whole base building thing comes into play.
Yeah, it's multiplayer too, right?
I don't know if it is right now or if it's supposed to be. I thought they said that they're planning on adding the ability to attack other people's like bases and stuff. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen too much on it other than just like the whole walking around the map and capturing things and looting and stuff like that.
Metal Gear Solid 6 Palworld.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not really my style of gameplay that I usually go for. So I don't plan on playing it, but yeah, that game exploded. It broke a bunch of records and stuff like that.
I enjoy Pokemon, and that's the thing is that so when I actually got Enshrouded, I was debating on getting Palworld that same day. Like that morning, I was like, I think I might get Palworld. I'm gonna dive into it because everybody is talking about this game. And then, like I said, my friend on Kick Yuppie had been talking about Enshrouded, and I was like, this actually looks more interesting to me. Something that I would be more like inclined to play, I guess. And so I instead got that, and I enjoy that I enjoy that quite a bit. But yeah, Palworld, from what I heard, like it's essentially Pokemon, but just knockoff. Wait, I don't even know if we can say that. I think the Nintendo assassins might come for us if we even mention.
Yeah, I mean,
I've already mentioned it, Nintendo Pokemon.
Yeah, that's like the biggest part of the news story is like, what is Nintendo going to do about it? So before, when you were streaming Enshrouded, I had mentioned that there was that one video where someone was comparing the models.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that was a faked video.
Oh.
So the person who made that video came out and said that he did use a tool to manipulate the models to kind of scale the fit.
Oh.
So it wasn't actually, they weren't as close together as they seemed to be. And he said that he did that because he didn't support animal abuse. And then
yeah, I saw the whole PETA. There's like a whole PETA thing now.
But then there was people like, well, you know in Pokemon they're capturing these creatures against their will and forcing them to fight each other, right? And he's like, yeah, I don't support that either. So nobody really understood why he did it. He kind of contradicted himself.
So probably because of fame. And because Palworld is a...
it was something easy to try to gain views out of, I guess. But
I don't support animal abuse, but I'm going to take a bunch of time to make this video instead of actually doing something useful in the world.
But, I mean, the whole Palworld thing, you can tell the game's supposed to be just like a comedic parody of what Pokemon is. So, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the game itself. Like I said, it's not a game I would actually play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care that much about it. But Nintendo did actually come out with a statement saying that they're definitely gonna look into it and see if there's anything that they have to do.
Or that they can do.
Or that they can do, yeah. So I mean, Nintendo they'll probably find anything to try to sue because the game is doing really well, and Nintendo's probably like, oh, this is easy money for us.
Yeah.
And the thing is the thing with Palworld, it's kind of filling like a void. Because the last few Pokemon games haven't been doing well at all because they're, especially the most recent one. The most recent one had a ton of issues on Switch. Like it wouldn't render things. There was a ton of bugs.
Really?
It ran like crap. It looked bad and it ran at like 15 FPS with frame drops. So
wow.
Palworld is kind of just like filling that void of like the Pokemon game that people actually wanted, but it's just not Pokemon.
I actually saw something like the map for it. it looks massive too.
Yeah.
The map looks insanely.
I heard
big.
people were saying that there are sections of the map that don't seem finished yet, like they're really barren and there's like nothing really to do. But that's also an early access.
I was gonna say,
game.
because that's another early access game.
I don't know how far it'll go. It depends. It's gonna depend if Nintendo wants to actually do something about it.
I'm excited to see all these newer, like smaller studios though.
It's
doing
just funny
something
because
where
it shows you
people-
what a small studio who doesn't have that like big of a track record yet,
That many
what they can do,
resources
and then you
stuff.
look at day before and how they like bitched about everything, and just like, no, you guys just made a bad game.
Well, that's you can also look at it from it's crazy to see what all of these smaller, newer studios can do, and then you look at these like AAA companies who are now laying people off because of things that they're creating that just aren't working. It's like, oh, look, you don't have to be complex. You know what I mean? Like, Palworld obviously is you're not gonna make a Palworld, you know.
Well, yeah,
but,
I mean, and Palworld looks kind of janky and has a bunch of issues, but it's the theme of the game that sells it.
I mean, I know bigger studios wouldn't really be able to do something like that.
I mean, they could. They just have to make sure Nintendo won't
ethically
attack them.
It's kind of like an ethic thing, I guess. From that, it'd be like spitting in Nintendo's face almost. But it's just funny because you see Palworld, and Palworld is like a knockoff of Pokemon, and to me, Enshrouded is a knockoff of Zelda. So it's funny just to see all these smaller studio like companies or smaller studios making these games that are similar to Nintendo games, but just available on PC and like just them blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's a weird company. The way they run it is very strict, but I mean, Nintendo would benefit a lot if they would actually port their games to PC. Sony actually recently made a statement that they plan on utilizing PC more often than they have been. So I'm excited about that. I think Horizon Forbidden West now has a PC release date, the sequel.
Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff on that too.
But to circle back to Palworld, the other controversy that game had, which is why people were talking about Nintendo maybe having a problem with the game, is because the mods that were adding like Ash as the player swap and then like Pikachu. But the reason why that mod was like those mods were taken down is because those were like the guy who put those mods out there was selling them on his Patreon.
Oh, so he's making money off
He was
them.
making money off it. So that was the main problem with that. Nexus Mods did make a statement saying that they're not going to allow Pokemon mods for the game either because they don't want to.
No mods, I thought, right?
No, you can mod it. It can't be Pokemon specific mods. So they're doing that because they don't want Nintendo to come after them.
Yeah,
but like I said, the main thing with the Patreon one was the guy was selling it. He was selling Pokemon stuff for a game, which it's not his property.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that's stupid about people who monetize player swap mods like that or mesh swap mods like that, because they're selling models that actually don't belong to them from an IP that they don't own.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah,
it's just they're just stupid. But I mean, Nintendo would probably take down mods if they were made aware of them, anyways. But that one specifically was because of the money aspect.
We might have already said Nintendo too many times that our entire channel might just get taken down.
Well, I mean, they do strike channels for trailer reactions.
1, 2, 3. They said it more than 3 times. Take them out.
We're gonna get a strike.
Yeah, no, it was just crazy to me, and how fast it blew up. I think that I saw that. Like Palworld sold over 70 million copies or something like that already.
Yeah, I think it's in like second. I think it's in second place for the most played Steam game, like right under PUBG.
And it's literally been like a week.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy to me. Everyone that I see has played it or is playing it. Like they've experienced it. So I guess I just need to try it.
I'll just watch you play it.
Yeah. Watch me capture human beings.
You can do that.
I know. It
gives you like an inhumane message. Like,
really?
Yeah, in the game it's like this isn't really humane to do.
But it just allows you to do it. That's hilarious. I saw another thing where apparently it was like their lead developer or something like that. They just found him like working in a grocery store.
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Well, they also had like a ton of server issues because they did not expect the huge
70 million people to be playing their game.
I'm surprised they figured it out though.
So
they figured out how to stabilize their servers faster than NetherRealm did with Mortal Kombat 1.
You know, again, trying to tell myself not to make this a Mortal Kombat rant.
I'm not going into it. That was just a joke.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's crazy how you can see all these small studios doing all this like crazy shit, and then these big studios act like they've never seen a video game in their life.
No, like Ubisoft, they're like, wait, side quest triggers. Yeah. How do we do that?
We're supposed to make this fun.
How do we make a side quest trigger after dialogue?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I don't know.
You've been in this industry for 30 plus years. You should know how to do this, right? No.
What? A video game?
Yeah. And then this random dude that they get out of a grocery store.
Oh, I can fix that for you right now.
Yeah. It's wild, man. It's just crazy to see like some of these games just blow up out of nowhere too. So it makes me happy when it's a smaller indie studio. Would I have liked it to be their own original like concept? Yes. Like that would be better instead of just stealing a concept technically from Pokemon, which I guess a bunch of people who are huge diehard fans of Pokemon are really pissed off at too, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's pretty split.
Yeah. But still, to see a smaller studio that's like making something crazy and people are freaking out about it is nice to see.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Might not be here in another month.
That's true. That's how it typically goes. Like by like December or November next year or this year, we're gonna be sitting there and be like, oh yeah, remember Palworld came out this year?
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of companies like that, like especially a successful one.
Yes, successful.
That definitely had a hit with the community.
Yeah, big community love.
Fntastic and Day Before.
Yeah.
So
not Fntastic 4.
No.
The day before by Fntastic.
So the servers are fully shut down now, so you can't play the game at all. But the other news story was the developers. I don't know if it had a specific person who came out with the statement or if it was just from the Fntastic team. But they came out with a statement basically gaslighting everybody into thinking that they were innocent in all of it, and the people to blame for the game's failure was actually everybody on social media claiming that the game was a scam.
Yeah.
And so they had like a whole statement saying that like they were slandered basically, and that the game was pretty much perfect in every way. They did nothing wrong.
Yeah, it was only because of like people saying bad things that the people who played it thought it was bad.
Yeah. Not that the game was bad.
Yeah. No, it's only because of the people on social media saying it brainwashed the players.
Like they had to shut it down, and Steam had to force refund everybody because it was a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
No, and then they even had like points as to why the game was great, and they were like, Dr. Disrespect said the game was good. He's making an NFT game right now, so we know we can trust him. And then the other one was that the game was selling for $200 or more on eBay for people who couldn't buy the game anymore, which is like, so there are people who do collect games that aren't sold anymore, and they'll pay like whatever they need to get it.
Our game is good because people can scam you out of your money to get it.
And then the other one was saying that like there was a community trying to make mods for the game.
Yeah.
But it's like...
Which I could see that.
Well, yeah, you could pick any game out there that if you can mod it, there will be mods for it, even if nobody plays it.
I mean, that is a reason that your game could have been good, is because a modding community would completely change your game into what you actually promised the community it was going to be.
That was the other thing. They also said that they implemented everything they showed in the trailers, except for some minor things that they were planning on adding later, which is just a complete... lie. They didn't do that. It was missing a ton of stuff.
Everything that they showed in the trailers that are still up now.
Yeah, that they didn't remove to try to save face.
Yeah, exactly. To try to scam people again.
Yeah, that's when that's the problem with. It wasn't like the day before was an obvious scam. The other problem was the company behind it.
Yeah,
that's just the company there. They were also asked the question like, "How did your publisher feel about this?" and their publisher I think is Mytona or something like that. And they said that their like business relationship with Mytona is as healthy as it's ever been. There's no like hard feelings about it. But then recently, you look up the publisher. The publisher is literally called Mytona Fntastic. So the company, their publisher is the same company. So they basically just said that like,
so they're essentially self-publishers. Okay.
They're like, we have a great relationship with ourselves.
Great.
So the whole company is just like a whole. Everything they're doing is just they lie, they manipulate, they're just a bad company. No one should support them.
And I'm honestly surprised that there's not more like, there should be more coverage of that. Like,
well, yeah, I think most people just they know now and they just
like instead of all these
company anymore.
That's what also kind of pisses me off is you see a lot of these like game journalists. Like journalist sites and everything, it might just be a rumor or something.
Well, it was on IGN and GameSpot.
About that
they talked about
okay
it, yeah.
But you see most of the stuff that they're publishing on like other platforms as the news titles is like how to do these 10 things in Palworld. It's like, dude, I know what you guys are doing, okay?
Or like find the character for you in this game.
Yeah, it's like okay, you're literally just you're just banking on the hype trend right now instead of showing the actual things that, I mean, we're talking about Palworld, but
yeah, but like to circle back with Mytona or Fntastic, their studio was supposed to shut down. Like they announced that they're not even doing that. They're going forward with like some other new project.
They just rebranded or something.
Yeah,
they just changed their name, didn't they?
Apparently, but now I think they're just going to be Mytona instead of Fntastic.
Oh.
But it's one and the same. So, like they even lied about shutting down their studio. They're probably just trying to like get pity sales when they said that originally. They're like, we have to shut down because it's not successful enough. Buy our game, please, to save us.
Yeah, please don't ask for refunds. We're shutting down now because of you guys.
Well, that was the other thing too. They were like, we didn't scam anybody. We didn't offer pre-orders. We didn't like tell people to well, no, they didn't offer pre-orders, and they're like, all we did was ask people to wishlist this game. At no point did we ask for money throughout the development process. And it's like, yeah, but people had to buy the game. They were still buying a game that you were lying about, like that you falsely advertised. That is still a scam.
Yeah, we didn't scam anyone. We tried, but
it
didn't work.
Yeah.
And so we technically didn't scam anybody.
That's literally like the NFT scam statements.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't scam anybody. If you were dumb enough to buy our NFT, that's your fault. So, yeah, but you did sell it.
You're dumb enough to buy the NFT that you actively promoted.
Yeah. They did intentionally sell it as like a thing that you would make money off of in the future. And then they're like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's the Fntastic news. If you ever see their name on a game or their next name on a game, just steer clear of it.
Yep.
Very, very shady.
You might not. Once they figure out that that's what people have figured out, they might.
Well, they'll just change their name again. They'll make a statement saying like the reason why our new company failed is because of the people telling us that our company sucks.
Yeah, not because of us.
Not because of us. Yeah. We're doing everything right.
Yeah, the reason our company fails is because people are now watching us and they know what we do when we try to scam people, and it's not working anymore. So can you guys please stop so we can keep scamming people? Yeah, that's wild. I'm surprised that honestly they're even still saying anything. Like just stop. Like just don't even
disappear.
Yeah.
They could have come back under a different name if they had just disappeared long enough.
Yeah, I know.
But, like,
exactly.
Not even a week after they fully shut down the servers, they're like, hey, you assholes who told us our game was bad, we're coming back and we're going to scam you again.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Welcoming our new NFT game with Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, they partner with them.
No, it's just... I'm just wondering who actually runs their community or content or public like relations, because they're either terrible or it's someone up top with like a severe bipolar disorder that
it's probably all of the above.
Because that was what they had, like someone in the interior of the company had said. This was news like back a ways back, but they were saying there were like constant changes that were being asked on them on like super tight deadlines and stuff, and like if they didn't do what they wanted to do, or like if they didn't do what the higher ups were saying, that they would just get rid of them.
Yeah, and there were some people that would just leave the company because they didn't want to like make the game.
That's why I'm curious. I'm wondering if they're getting this message from whoever is like in charge. It's either it's either someone who's running their like public relations that's getting the message, that's afraid to get fired,
or maybe the guy who came out with that statement purposely made it one of the worst statements ever to make the company look worse because he's just sick of it. He's sick of being there.
Maybe.
Figures if he can keep his job but still destroy the company. It's a win-win.
Destroy it from the inside.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
It's an inside job.
They did alter the statement that they made to where it wasn't as aggressively stupid, but and then they were like, "What? We didn't say that other stuff."
Gaslighting again.
They're just a really deceptive, lying company.
And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm wondering if it's someone from like a powerful position, having someone in like a community management or like a public relations thing put these statements out, and then because that would suck. Like if that was my job and I had to put out these statements I knew that were incorrect, but if I said anything to like be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't say this, and then I get threatened to be fired for it because of my input, like
that's what it would have been like working at Activision Blizzard.
Dude, that'd be terrible, man. And then it backfires, and you're like, well, I knew that.
It's usually the higher ups that make those really dumb decisions.
Yeah.
At everybody else's expense. 'Cause they're the ones that'll be secure even if it goes bad.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there really isn't that like too much news this week. It's been completely controlled by Palworld.
Yeah, there's like two other ones. I mean, I wouldn't say they're minor. It kind of depends. I don't. Who are the developers for the Yakuza series? I know it's not called Yakuza anymore.
Oh man.
Because I haven't played any of those games, but
I don't think it's Bandai.
The most recent.
Is it Cat? No, it's not.
No, it's not Cat. It's not Cat. The most recent news stories for the newer one that's coming out, I think it's called Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
They're gonna be charging for New Game Plus, it's kind of like an extra edition. Like you have your standard edition of the game and the deluxe or whatever.
Yeah. And
like the highest or the next one, the one that costs like more than the standard, is what gives you New Game Plus.
Oh yeah, that's right. The charging for it. I'm looking up. I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, okay, dude. I've said this before in one of our older podcasts. I always confuse Sega and Capcom.
Oh,
it's Sega. Sega is the one who published it.
Oh yeah, no, it is Sega.
Maybe it's a color brand, like branding thing or something.
Well, Capcom's just yellow with like a blue outline.
Okay.
And then Sega's just blue, basically.
Yeah.
So they're basically charging extra for New Game Plus on that game, which charging for New Game Plus is crazy because usually it's either in the game at the launch or it's a free update.
Like how many times can you New Game Plus?
That's always the question I ask that no one ever seems to ask, because that's the first thing I look up. Because I looked that up for Alan Wake 2 as well. I was like, how many times can you do Final Draft mode? Can you only do it once? Apparently you can do it as many times as you want.
Well, like with the new...
With Like a Dragon...
RoboCop is another one that we can...
Yeah, I don't know how many times you can do.
Too.
Yeah, they updated it. But I don't know how many times you can do New Game Plus in that either. I would imagine... Usually it's however many times you want. It's more uncommon to have it towards only once. Like that was the thing I hated.
There's a game that did that,
yeah,
right?
All of the Arkham games except for Asylum because it didn't have it. But all the Arkham games have New Game Plus, but you can only do it once. I hate when they do that. I mean, the Arkham series is still one of my top favorite series, but usually when I play a new game, I just start fresh. I don't even do New Game Plus because New Game Plus also sets it to the hardest difficulty and stuff like that, which is fine. But it's just more convenient to just do normal and earn it all again rather than going through the New Game Plus thing. But yeah, I would imagine you could do it as many times as you want. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
So that brings me to my second question. Do you have to pay every time that you want to do New Game Plus?
No, it's basically just you get access to the feature.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's stupid.
There are some weird ass companies that like charge for the weirdest features, and it boggles my mind.
It's always the company that tries to start like a new trend. Because I don't know if you remember back when it was on 360 still, when everything started doing online passes.
Yeah.
So the online pass thing was to combat used games. So if you'd buy the game used and the online pass was already redeemed, you'd have to buy the ability to play online.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted, I think EA is the one who started that, but
I don't doubt it.
that lasted a while, and then it stopped, thankfully. But yeah, this is probably like Sega trying to be like, we should just charge for New Game Plus instead of
giving it as a free
update, or just having it in the thing is, it's funny about this is it is included in the base game technically.
Yeah.
You're just paywalled out of it.
Well,
it's not even a free update later. It's done. They have it implemented.
That's just games nowadays.
Yeah.
It like all of it could be included in the base game. They're just withholding it to get
like
more
sometimes
money out
like
of
some stuff comes later because it's not ready for base launch, like Final Draft and New Game Plus for like the Spider-Man games. But that's why those are free updates.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like God of War.
Yeah.
And I think Ragnarok actually just had it at launch. I don't remember, but the 2018 God of War, they added it later for free.
Yeah.
So it's like this is like the first time someone's making you pay extra.
Well,
for
I mean,
it.
it was Tekken 7, right? Like we were just looking at this the other day. Tekken 7, apparently they had a DLC. When they were releasing weird,
we were
like,
wondering
bunch
what
DLCs.
Yeah, we were wondering what the DLC situation was like for Tekken 7. We were just looking at it. They charged for frame
rate data, yeah,
like the frame data
the
for
frame
moves,
data, yeah,
which is bizarre. It's mostly negative, thank God, because that's like essential to the technical side of fighting.
Fighting games, yeah.
Like if you're gonna really delve into the technical side of it to try to like master it, you need to know the frame data. And Tekken 7 actually did sell the frame data.
Do you think they're going to do the same thing?
The frame data is on.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, you can see the frame
clearly
data.
Clearly it didn't work when they tried it in Tekken
Well, no.
7. That's funny.
Luckily, the frame data thing was included in a season pass. So it's like if you owned season pass 1 or 2, you got it. But it should have just been in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always like a company
which is
try
such a weird
new.
thing to include in a season pass when it's like...
No. I think they knew that they probably couldn't sell it separately on its own because that would get more backlash than it got. But yeah, there's always like
sell it separately though.
You can buy it separately.
You could.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like if they own even if you own the season pass, you didn't get it. Like then it would get because that's what Mortal Kombat does with their pre-order characters. You can buy the best version of it, but if you didn't pre-order it, you still have to pay extra for the pre-order characters.
Yeah.
So it's like. But yeah, so there's that for that game. That's really stupid. That should just be included.
Well, I mean that's essentially. I know we're not gonna, every time that we do a podcast is always like there's at some point some sort of a Mortal Kombat rant in it,
Yeah.
But this relates to it because pretty much anything they put in the premium shop has more than likely already been ready when the base game dropped.
Yeah.
And like they're literally just charging for it just to charge for it.
Yeah, or they're just adding it in the shrine months later.
That's what I mean. It's not something that you're gonna even get in the season pass. I'm assuming it's not something you're gonna get in the season pass. It's like, okay, well you can either get this, and typically it's something that you want, like one of the especially if you're a fan of the older like 3D era games like Deadly Alliance or like Deception, essentially just taking advantage of their dedicated community. They charge for that, which is crazy to me because something like that in MK11 would have just been like they would have just had it in like a tower or something like that. It would have been maybe a little bit harder to get.
Well, they would be like a pack that it's still technically you pay for it, but it's just more reasonable. So instead, like in MK1 situation, you get like the Deadly Alliance Natara.
Yeah.
And it's like $10 or $12, whatever it is, and that you get that skin with one gear piece and all of its colors. Then in MK11 situation, you get like the classic ninja pack. You get the classic ninja suit for 3 characters. You get it for Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Noob. You get all the color versions of it, 3 pieces of gear for each one, so 9 pieces of gear. for $6.
Yeah.
So it's half the price of what MK1's charging, and you get a lot more.
Yeah, to me that's like I would get that. That's more reasonable. But like because you know everything that you're getting. The problem is that you don't, with the way that the shrine works is like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna like this as much, but it's like a limited time, so I might want to spend money on it.
Well, they
or something
eventually
like that,
did
you
add
know?
like the little symbol where it's like premium shop only.
Yeah.
So it's like if it doesn't have that symbol, that means you can get it elsewhere.
But that's the thing is, do you want like you would have to wait, like you don't know what everything else is
if you're
coming,
new to the
in the
game, and if
future.
you're new to the game, you wouldn't really know what that meant. That's why I put out those shrine videos. So because I have way more than enough coins at this point that I can always just see what's in the shrine for everybody. But I put those out so that you know what not to buy from the store.
But I mean, like as a normal consumer, you'd be looking at that and be like, well, it's only like this outfit with whatever is only available for X amount of time. I don't know, because I really do want this Natara outfit. Like, what if they come out with something for a character that I use more often? And then I'm not going to have like I'm going to have to spend more money. With the pack that you were talking about where it's the classic ninja pack, you knew everything that you were getting and you knew the price. Like there's not like you don't have to be like, oh, I don't know how many Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance skins that they're going to be coming out with.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing that I just really don't like, and maybe it's just an oversight by them. I'm trying to be more optimistic, or not pessimistic. You know,
it's not an oversight.
Not just rail on them constantly, but like maybe it's something that they're testing out. They're gonna realize no one's doing it because it sucks. Like this whole thing sucks, and then I'm hoping in when they come out with Injustice 3, like they can put MK1 behind them and be like, okay, well, no one is actually doing it this way. Let's not come up with like shitty in-game store ideas anymore.
MK1's still going to be here for a while though, because I think they have at least 3 combat packs planned for that game, and it's going to take almost half of this year just to get through the first one. So
no, and I mean, no one's saying, hey, maybe down the line you could just add them as the normal packs, like a Deadly Alliance pack where you get all of the Deadly Alliance.
There is a Deadly Alliance bundle in the game where it gives you all of the currently released Deadly Alliance skins. It just hasn't shown up in the premium shop yet.
Oh.
It's just in like the code, like the files. See, that's the one thing that's nice about when they have PC ports for these games, because like you can see what's in the game currently and what's been data mined, and like I think they even have it to where you can get it. So right now, as far as Deadly Alliance and Deception outfits go, there aren't any other ones in the game than what have already been in the shop, and they've rotated a couple of times already. So
PC Master Race.
You don't have to worry about missing anything that might come in the future yet, because right now there isn't anything. But when the Peacemaker update comes out sometime in February, then there will probably be more in the files. So
I mean, I know that this probably won't be huge. Like we don't get, as of right now, we're not a ton of people watch the podcast, but we should probably put something in there for MK Warehouse for people who are on console and PlayStation who don't have like PCs, so that they can at least look and be like, hey, maybe we can save a little bit of money here. You know, so yeah, well, I'm gonna try to remember. We gotta put that link in the description so that you guys can find that if you're listening and you're on PlayStation and console, because we're not PC Master Race.
I mean, I'm on everything.
We like all consoles, all gamers, so we don't want to exclude anybody, and we don't want you paying money for random bullshit that AAA company shouldn't be charging you for. So I guess there you go, everybody. That covers our Mortal Kombat rant for this podcast.
And then the other news story, which again is to me it's minor because I don't play the game, but this affects anybody who does, I guess. But for Halo Infinite, they did announce that moving forward they're not going to be doing seasons anymore. Instead, they're going to focus on like smaller content updates, which they didn't directly state that they were winding down development on this game. that they were scaling it back, but that's the community sentiment is that like, oh, okay, this is kind of like they're basically done with this game and it's just gonna be kind of on like a skeleton crew maybe.
Yeah.
Because I mean that for live service games that are like PvP like that, they kind of rely on seasonal switch ups and content drops.
Yeah. I'm like so out of the Halo loop,
I mean,
man.
yeah, the last Halo that I really played was Halo Reach.
Yeah. I'm before that, dude. Last Halo that I really played was Halo 3.
Yeah.
Like I never played 4. Infinite. I forgot that Infinite was even a thing. The only thing that I remember from Infinite, it's like it was like the ridiculous thing to like how long you'd have to play every day. It's like 18 hours a day to like complete all the challenges daily.
Yeah, like the daily challenges. Yeah,
like, okay, well, let me
really
just quit my
on.
job and play Halo Infinite. But my question was if they would just, because of the fact that it's seasons, a lot of gaming, I guess, a lot of games do it to where they'll have the seasons repeat. My question was if they're gonna be completely done with seasons, if they're gonna either just continue to repeat them, if they're gonna just drop all of the content from the, because I'm assuming that like any game with seasons, they had seasonal content. So I'm wondering if they're just gonna drop all of the seasonal content at once.
I don't think they'd do that. They might do repeats though. They might just keep recycling seasons every so often.
Similar to how like MK does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's how a lot of games do it.
When they're just done with that shit.
Done,
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
okay.
So for Halo Infinite players, that's maybe bad news. Halo Infinite has been doing that well. That's probably why they're scaling it back.
Probably because it takes 18 hours to complete all the dailies.
Well, they scaled that back earlier. But
I would hope so.
They also had like other aggressive stuff with that game. But yeah, I mean, Halo Infinite hasn't been doing that great even ever since it came out.
I honestly, I don't even think that I've ever seen anyone play Halo Infinite.
It had like a little bit of a rise for like the online.
Yeah.
But overall, no, there wasn't that much attention with that game.
Flag dropped.
Flag taken. Yeah.
Flag dropped.
I don't even. They kept it that way too. Like you walk slower with the flag.
Yeah. Oh, they kept it.
I think so.
That's funny.
It's just like why not just have the same movement speed to just stop that?
Flag taken. Flag dropped.
But yeah. So there was that. Yeah, but as far those were like the news stories that really stood out.
The main ones. Yeah, I think this will probably be a little bit of a smaller episode this week.
Like 3 hours.
Just like at least about 3.5 hours, and we're gonna put out 7 of them. So no, yeah, I mean that's all the news that I can think. Like I said, most of the news from what I saw was like mostly all Palworld.
Yeah, there was probably some other like smaller stories in there, but
there's two minor ones. We talked about it a little bit before, but the RoboCop, finally they added the new game plus option for RoboCop.
The thing that's nice about the RoboCop one is that they had originally said that they didn't actually even plan on doing new game plus, but because there were so many requests for it that they actually just did it.
Yeah.
So that was actually cool. Like the case of like a company just like, oh, this is what the fans wants, let's provide it. Which is rare.
I feel like RoboCop is the equivalent of essentially a cult classic movie.
Yeah.
But just as a game, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing that's
it's great.
Cool too is because I like gold weapon skins. Just for starting New Game Plus, you're also rewarded with a gold Auto 9 skin.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
When we were talking before, you'd also said that they had added more boards as well. Which
PCB and. They added like I think extra mod chips as well.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with RoboCop at all, if you haven't like heard us talk about it or seen either of us play it, that's kind of how you like upgrade your Auto 9, right?
Yeah,
that's what it's called. And with it comes a bunch of different abilities that you can do. It's kind of like it's just a cool way to do some upgrades on weapons, and depending on how you build it, you can have some negatives in certain areas or positives in certain areas like damage and stuff, or you can completely transform almost the Auto 9 into a single shot weapon or like a three round burst weapon.
You can also give it exploding bullets.
I haven't gotten that board yet.
There's
That's
like
cool.
a couple of boards with it.
And yeah, I mean, if you've seen or played the game, the gore is awesome.
And you can increase it with other mods.
Yeah, I have seen that.
increased
Yeah,
score.
yeah. So yeah, definitely if you're a fan of, I guess, any like first person, I would just say first person shooting, first person adventure, not adventure, but like first
It's
person
got some
shooting.
adventure elements in it, I guess.
Definitely check that out. And it has some RPG elements too, level up stuff. Definitely check that out. It's one of our favorites of last year.
Yeah,
So
the game was great.
and yeah, it's cool that they added New Game Plus, because that's something that we had talked about. And that was one of the things too, is you couldn't actually complete the full skill tree, but now you can. So yeah, that's a pretty cool one. And then the other minor, I guess, game update. We typically talk about Texas Chainsaw, and they just had like a minor multiplayer.
It was like a server side
tweak.
update. So it's not like one that you download.
Yeah.
It's just something on their end.
Which we had talked about before, how the multiplayer, like actually trying to get into games and like lobbies, is essentially a lobby simulator. So we had been playing recently, and we spent more time in lobbies than actually playing the game.
Yeah.
We would get into a game, and we would clear playing as family, which is also ridiculous. I've come to realize that it's way more fun playing as family, and you get through matches so much quicker. But we would spend like, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes in game as family, and then we'd sit in a lobby for 8 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, I'm glad I haven't seen what the tweaks have been yet, but I'm really hoping that they've improved that.
Yeah, that's always been a problem.
point.
I've looked at the Steam discussions, and I haven't seen many people saying that there's been that much of a difference. So I don't know. Maybe it's more minor.
Well, typically, if it's bad, people will complain. If it's good, people will say nothing. So
Yeah,
that's
true.
that's typically how like anything goes. But yeah, so there is one more segment that we had talked about kind of including into the podcast, which is just as like a new game release, just to look at what the upcoming games are going to be, just to give everyone an idea of like, hey, you may have forgotten this game's coming out this week. Typically earlier in the year, with how the game development stuff goes, there isn't a lot of new ones. But typically at the end of the year, it's like, oh, just take all of our games.
Yeah. Well, they do that
Here's
on
our money.
purpose
Yeah.
because it's a
Christmas,
holiday season. Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, we can start with just the one that came out yesterday from when we're recording this, but
Yeah.
Tekken 8 is fully released now. Like I said, I've been playing it a little bit, but from what I played, the game is super fun. The only thing that I haven't touched the story mode at all yet, because that's actually going to be like a playthrough I do after Prince of Persia. The only thing that disappointed me a little bit right from the start, though, was the character customization.
Oh, really?
It's lacking a lot of options. You can only do so much, and everybody shares like the same clothing. Like, you know how like in the older games
like
you would
Tekken
have
5.
but you would have like the universal generic clothing, but then there'd be like character specific clothing.
Yeah.
In this game, it's just
Some.
like universal generic clothing for everybody.
I feel like they've been slowly getting to that point. Like, I feel like
Tekken 7 was similar.
Tekken 5 had like the best customization. It
Tekken
was
6
so
and
cool.
Tekken Tag 2 actually had some great customization as
Yeah,
well.
I
but
guess I never really played
Yeah, Tekken 5.
Tag 2, but
Tekken 5
Tekken 5
did have
was
really
amazing.
good,
I remember
but yeah.
specifically like us trying to find cheats to get money so that we could customize everybody insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Back
do
in the day.
Like, you can do a decent amount in 8. It's just it feels very limited, and they have a surprising lack of like legacy type outfits for the characters. Like, they have one that's similar to Jin's Tekken 3 outfit, but they don't let you customize the gloves. So you can't like get his original gloves or anything like that. And if you try to make it yourself, they don't have his like flame pants as a separate option.
Yeah.
So you have to just do the all-in-one suit to give it that look. And yeah, it did. Like, I used to play as Li Shaolin in Tekken 5 a lot. They don't have any of his like stuff.
I forgot that Lee was like your man.
He was at the time, but they don't have like anything prior to Tekken 7 as an outfit for him. So it's like you either get his like suit type
purple
looking
suit?
suit, kind of. No, it's like in Tekken 7 he had like a long coat with like a suit underneath it. And then now he's got like this weird cyber suit with this like really weird like chin thing. And those are like his only suits that he has as like full presets.
They don't have purple suit?
No, they don't
What?
even have his like Tekken 5 like weird like biker looking
Damn.
outfit. So they're missing a lot of like legacy stuff in there and more customization options specific to each character.
Wait, does Paul Phoenix...
I did not look at Paul's customization. I hope he has the eraser hair because
Oh, he doesn't have it?
I don't know. His default is I don't like his default design in this one. He looks like really post-apocalyptic and his hair's down again.
Dude.
But I'm assuming they do because they do have like Kazuya's Tekken 7 outfit that you can just choose. They don't have his like original stuff though. Yeah, they're missing a lot of stuff. They might add it later. They might monetize it. I don't know.
Ooh.
It's something we're gonna have to see in the future. But like the default start like launch customization options are pretty lacking. That's like the only thing I noticed as a disappointment. But the game so far, like the new heat system and stuff like that, is really fun. So
You guys want your frame data for free? Well, if you want classic outfits, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they do more with that. Customization isn't like the biggest thing. The overall is like the fighting aspect of it, which that they seem to have nailed. The game looks insanely good.
It's always sad though when you go like. It's always like a little discouraging when you go from their previous iterations and like the customization is great and then they like decrease it or like it declines. You know, that part that always sucks.
Well, it's just the thing that's weird to me is like a lot of fighting game developers, more as like time goes on, seem to steer clear away from like original outfits. Like Mortal Kombat does the same thing where it's like you don't really get classic outfits and stuff like that. But it's like those are the things that everybody usually wants. Like it's like a surefire. Like if they had a classic outfit pack, most people would buy it. But yeah, so
you shouldn't say that. I'm cutting that part.
Yeah, well they're probably gonna do that.
They're getting all their ideas from Joystick Jabber.
Yeah. I mean, with this segment though, we're obviously not going to list every upcoming game.
Yeah.
Just like specific ones, because there's still a lot of like random games that we know nothing about coming out.
Yeah, if there is a game that you know that's coming out that we don't mention, just add it in the comments. I mean, we're happy to like look at it, and if it's coming out like this month or in like a little bit, just let us know. We'll take a look at it.
When this goes live, it might be February.
That's true.
Because we're almost at the end of January.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, the next major release is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which if you get the deluxe version, it actually comes out on Tuesday, so next week Tuesday. But if the standard release, it's next week Friday, I believe. Like the next major
if there was
release.
those chips that Elon Musk like had talked about, where he puts it in your head and like you can like talk and do all this crazy shit. I bet you that WB and Suicide Squad would find a way to put ads on that thing to send it straight to your brain.
Yeah, Suicide Squad is.
I don't think I've ever seen a more advertised game in my life, dude.
Yeah, they had like 2 more trailers since the Joker reveal thing. They've had like 2 additional trailers. They had like a deluxe edition trailer. Now they have one with like live action actors, like Will Arnett's in it and something like that. So they're advertising the hell out of it. I will say though, the most recent breakdown of their features when they revealed Joker, the game looked like it was in a better place than it has been in the past. Not like significantly different
in the beta, you mean?
Yeah, like the way the game looked, it seems like they may have like tweaked it a bit more, like sped it up a little bit and made it a bit faster.
Interesting.
And maybe in just the way they showed Joker, because Joker's gameplay looks more feature rich and polished than the main characters you start with. So I don't know if they're maybe changing a little bit of things here and there, making it like a faster paced game.
Well, I'm hoping that they
with faster traversal and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they've taken what the community has said from the beta, because I feel like that is the whole point of a. Well, yeah. I guess it was more.
It was a stress test.
Yeah, it was an online stress test, but it also worked as a beta for like the people who were playing the game for the first time. I'm hoping that they would have taken some of that in, but I don't know how much they could really change from.
No,
the
like I
base
said, the game
know?
looked better than it did before. But if you're still on the fence about it, it would, like, if you were on the fence and you watched it, it wouldn't really change your opinion. It was just, it looked a little bit better than the previous trailers that they've had, which they could just be the way it was cut and edited to make it look more crazy. But yeah, it's still hard to say. It might be one of those games where it's like you just need to play it way too long before it actually becomes fun. Like, there are games out there where like Starfield, Bethesda claims you need at least 30 hours before it picks up, but it's like that people would have already clocked out within the third hour.
I did a 24-hour stream, and I've definitely played it past then, and that's when I clocked out of it.
Yeah, so I'd say it could be one of those games where the developers are like, oh no, trust us, when it's like 10 hours in, that's when it really gets crazy. And it's like, well, most people would have given up on
Really?
it
Because I spent about an hour and a half, and I was already sick of the combat in that game.
Yeah, well, I got sick of the combat too.
So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I've been more on the negative side of it, and it seems like they're trying to do a lot. They're like pushing, here's everything that's gonna be coming out. Here's even a new, like, the Joker, but you guys didn't see that shit coming. Like, it seems like they're trying to do everything to, like,
in the previous podcast that we had, when we talked about Suicide Squad, I had mentioned that, like, luckily they didn't have a roadmap yet, so, like, if the game didn't do well, they might be able to, like, kind of scale back on what their plans were.
Yeah.
But then literally the week after that, they come out with a roadmap for season 1.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So now they're kind of locked in for the first season.
Yeah, I mean, also to me, like, Joker was a weird character to add for a Suicide Squad
Well,
game.
considering it's in the Arkhamverse, the main confusion I'm seeing with that is like, everybody's like, well, Joker's dead in the Arkhamverse, but that's because the new gameplay breakdown is also going into the Elseworld storyline. So it's not the Joker from the Arkhamverse; it's a Joker from a different universe.
This is the Cameron Mahogany Joker, from Shameless and from Jedi Survivor. Because there was a whole thing back when Gotham was out. It's like, this is the Joker. It's like, no, that's not the Joker. That's the Joker. It's just the same character.
Yeah.
No, he's like, it's not the Joker that everyone knows, but that's obviously not the case in that,
so that's their whole thing with that. So just to make it more convenient, they're doing multiverse.
Yeah.
So that's the first major release of February, and then I think
with Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. The next thing that kind of comes out close to that is the one that you're interested in. Is that Helldivers 2?
Oh yeah, Helldivers. Yeah, so me and one of my good friends had played Helldivers in the past, not like to the extent that a lot of people had, but then I saw Helldivers 2 gameplay, which seemed, at least from what I have seen, vastly different. I thought that it was supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know if it still is, or if it is actually coming to some other platforms.
I thought it was coming to PC.
Is it?
I think so. I thought it was when they first announced it, I thought it said PlayStation and PC.
Because that's the funny thing, is that they had it on there back when we watched the PlayStation showcase. They had it on there.
But they also, that's when they revealed the Metal Gear thing.
Yeah.
Which that's multi-platform.
Yeah, so I guess, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that was one that I was really interested in, and the new way that they seem to have the gameplay. If I remember correctly, the first Helldivers was like more of a bird's eye view, but this one's more of like a third person type of camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. And then obviously the other big February release is Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, is that late February?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Helldivers, I thought it said February 8th. The other thing before we go into Final Fantasy, but there was 2 other minor releases. Well, maybe minor's not the right word, but they're remasters. That's why I'm saying minor. But the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remasters coming out.
Nice.
That's like mid-February, maybe the 16th. I forgot what day. And then near the end of February, again, close to probably Final Fantasy. But there's also going to be the Star Wars Dark Forces remaster.
Oh, that's like
the old game.
Really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, it still looks the same in terms of like the classic Doom style.
Yeah.
It just has like ups, like better textures and probably modernized controls.
Interesting. Is
So
that
that's
the
kind
same?
of what Tomb Raider's doing too. It's gonna be the same game. It just like a visual uplift, better controls.
That's a weird. That's interesting to me.
I'm hoping that if it does well, they do like Dark Forces 2 and like a bunch of the other games.
Well, that isn't a part of the like Jedi Knight universe.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So that's Kyle Katarn.
I
Dark
think so.
Forces?
I think you do play as Kyle in the first one, but he's not a Jedi yet.
Or is it Kyle Katarn?
No, it's Katarn.
Katarn.
Yeah. I think you play as Kyle in the first one. I only played the first one for a little bit, but now I'm definitely more interested in it. But you only use guns now. You don't have like a lightsaber or anything.
What's your name? Qui-Gon Jinn. What's your name? Obi-Wan Kenobi. What's your name? Kyle.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
Just Kyle.
It's just like Han Solo.
Yeah.
Here's Kyle.
Yeah. He's got like the most normal name.
It's like really that's the that's the best you can come up with.
I guess.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. That would be cool if it did do well. If they do continue to, I remember getting introduced into that whole game, like that series with Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and I remember specifically. So for those of you who don't know, me and Nick have known each other since like, I don't know, I was like 6.
Yeah.
And I had been coming over, and then on Xbox we played a demo. I think it was a demo.
I still have that demo disc
for the Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, and I was like, "This is the." I mean, I was like probably 7 at the time, so I didn't say this. But now, thinking back, I totally said this. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
You probably did say that.
Yeah, definitely at 7. Yeah. No, but like it was nuts. The fact that you could do like all the force moves. There was like alignment, right? So you could like level into like dark force or like light force moves.
Yeah.
It was just for the time, it was crazy. It was hard.
I mean, it's still
probably harder than like a lot of the other Star Wars games now. But yeah, I mean, it was just
hard
crazy.
until you got force grip. And then you just grip them and hang them over a ledge and drop them.
Cheese everybody. Yeah.
No, that game's still great even to this day.
Yeah. You could do like, you could have different lightsaber styles too. You could do like the staff, right, and then the two-handed. Yeah, it was crazy. I still think that it's ahead of that one was ahead of its time. But yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I guess the last major one coming in February is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, so you can take that one.
Dude, I'm so pumped for that game.
The potential to be the last good Final Fantasy.
I know we had discussed that last episode. If you guys haven't seen it, not last episode. So in episode 10, because episode 11 was an exclusive kind of discussing Texas Chainsaw, but in episode 10 we talked about specifically Final Fantasy kind of a little bit about that. We had talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I am really pumped for that game. Yeah. I like Square. That was the one we talked about, is that Square Enix is like they're just making bad decisions from a gaming point of view.
They're not the company they used to be.
So I don't know. I'm curious as to whether this will be the final entry in their like remakes, or if it's going to actually be a trilogy and they're going to be making another one after this. Based on how far they went in the first game, like the first remake game, I would think that this is going to be a trilogy, but I guess we'll find out. I don't really know. If it is a trilogy, I'm hoping that at least they can at least put out the third one before they decide to implode on themselves. Yeah. But if they implode beforehand, I hope that this is the final iteration, because I want to see that the entire Final Fantasy VII storyline replayed in this new format, because I love it. I loved it. Especially the first one was absolutely fantastic. It was great. I'm really excited to see the new characters that are gonna be playable and stuff, and
No, they're scaling it back. It's just one.
Just play as Cloud.
No, you can see Cloud, but you can only play as Tifa.
Yeah, Aerith, who's like a healer, essentially. So, yeah, no, and then I mean, I believe that this is also the one where, spoilers, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII from like 1996 or whenever that came out, I think it might have been 99. I don't know, or 90. I don't know, somewhere between then. Aerith dies.
Oh, dude, you just ruined it.
I know. You're totally planning on playing it too.
Yeah. No, I already knew about the death though.
And so this is one where, and it sucked for 4 new players because they had no clue going into the actual game. And I was gonna try to introduce my wife into Final Fantasy VII, and just see her reaction when that happens.
But then she was like, "Oh, if anything happens to Aerith, I would give up on this franchise entirely."
But she listens to these, so I might just completely cut this part out. No, but like, yeah, that's like a huge thing in Final Fantasy VII is that Aerith dies, and people who know this playing the game a second time, because you can level her up, you can like put skills into her, and you can focus on her and have her in your party to like level her up and everything. But people who know this going back for the second time, they just completely leave Aerith out of like playing pretty much. Because just like, okay, well, she's not going to be essential in the end game anyway. But I'm curious to see if they're going to do that again. Like if she dies, because there's like tons of theories going out there whether the whole like PlayStation era version of Final Fantasy was even actually the story, or if it's like this version is the actual story and that was like a dream or something that he had. I don't really know. We'll find out, though.
We talked about that before. I don't know which episode it was. It was a while ago. But there was like the whole secret hunt to try to save Aerith. There was like a bunch of rumored ways to keep her from dying. So who knows? Maybe they'll do something with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have like multiple things that you could probably do to prevent it this time around or something.
Maybe. So there was also some stuff that I had seen to where, like, who knows, maybe it'll be switched to where it's like Tifa dies this time, which is like a main character in the game, which would be wild.
Maybe nobody dies.
I mean, that'd be preferred.
What, dude? But then you would hate it. There wouldn't be any stakes.
Yeah, I know. There is the stakes of the universe.
No, that doesn't matter because that's not a specific character you attach yourself to.
That's true.
No one cares about the universe.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, as the story plays out. See, that's the thing is Advent Children. This is getting into the whole thing, but like Advent Children is a part of the story too, technically, and like that is most definitely a part of. It can definitely be slotted into this universe as of right now, and the way that goes, it's like it's connected to like the Crisis Core game, and it's after the fact of Final Fantasy VII, and Aerith is definitely dead. So like, I don't know. I hope that they don't.
They'll just retcon that.
Especially after playing Crisis Core Reunion, it was crazy to see the relationship between Aerith and Zack, who's the main character, which you have no idea what's going on right now. But yeah, their relationship, and then like seeing she's like into Cloud in Final Fantasy VII. But I had no prior knowledge of Crisis Core, obviously, before playing it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this whole thing, because there's some differences.
Maybe
from
we'll just
the
open
original.
with her death.
That'd be crazy.
She just like trips and gets killed.
They show Vincent, who's like probably the coolest character from Final Fantasy VII, in the trailer. So I don't know if we'll actually be able to use him. I hope so.
No.
Be awesome.
They'll just act like you can. They'll let you use him for one mission and then he'll run away.
I think that's what they. I thought that's what they did with like Red 13, I think it's Red 13, who's like the dog wolf character thing that can talk. He's I don't think he was playable in the remake. I have to go back and play it now. I'm pumping myself back
Hey,
up.
you just do a playthrough.
I know, I need to. I need to, yeah.
And in October, you can play Rebirth.
Yeah, in October, yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to play through all of the Final Fantasies. I wouldn't be playing it until like 3 years from now.
3 years? That's being generous.
Yeah.
You wouldn't play it until like 15 years.
Do you know how
from now.
long the Final Fantasy games take? Yeah, probably. No, Final Fantasy 7's great. Final Fantasy 10 is great. Final Fantasy 10 is crazy. There's like a huge twist at the end of it. For those of you who are curious, making me yawn. I know, I'm boring you.
All this Final Fantasy talk.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I think that covers pretty much everything that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I was just kind of going through February, basically.
Yeah.
We can cover... Well, I guess in February we'll just reiterate.
Yeah. This week on Joystick Jabber.
Every day, every podcast in February, it'll be Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I think Skull and Bones is also scheduled for February.
How could we forget about Skull and Bones?
That's going to be another... I don't think it's going to be...
At least for now, it's scheduled in February.
Yeah, I mean, they delayed that game like 8 times. I don't think it's going to be as big of a train wreck as the day before, obviously, but it's definitely going to be another one of those Ubisoft live service games that probably don't even last a year.
I mean, I thought that there were already some stories on it to where...
Oh, that's the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
commercial.
So, yeah, for those of you who don't... You guys don't know the setup, but there's... This is hilarious. Typically, there's a TV off in the background, and right now it's actually playing the Suicide Squad commercial. When I was, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, I thought that people had already played a version of Skull and Bones, and they were like, it's boring.
Yeah, they said that within like 30 minutes, that you're kind of just done with it already. I think they already revealed a roadmap for it too. For like the first year.
There's a roadmap for it?
I think so.
I figured that they would just be like done with it.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan is with that game. I'm not gonna get it. They're gonna do an open beta at some point soon. But I'm not gonna touch that game. I don't care about it at all.
We may have talked about this in one of our like old episodes about the fact that why Ubisoft has like...
Oh yeah, the Singapore thing.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Ubisoft Singapore?
Yeah,
they have to do like...
They're like under
like
some weird contract with the Singapore government to where they have to make this game.
Yeah.
So like the reason why they can't cancel it is because they're like obligated by the government to finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy to me. And I'm pretty sure that this isn't the only one. Like they have signed... This is a very, very old story, so there could be some details that I have wrong here, but I thought that it was something like they had 3 titles or something like that. They had to make through Singapore, and it's just been a garbage fire trying to like work.
They must have taken some like funding to make these games, so they're like obligated to do it. But yeah, they're pretty much. I don't know how much they actually care about the game after its release, but I guess we'll see.
I think that was a big thing for it too. Is like the heads of the people who would keep coming in to head up these games would leave.
Yeah.
And so like they would have to go into like a completely new direction, and like it's just a train wreck. So I don't know how well this game is going to actually.
I don't think it's going
end
to
up doing.
Well. I guarantee.
I'm surprised that they're even planning on supporting it after launch. Like,
yeah, well, that might just be to like fake their interest in it. They're just hoping that they might not have to commit to it. I don't know, maybe, but I have no doubt this game will have a community to some extent, but I don't think it's going to do well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like a worse version of any other type of game similar to it. Like it's probably going to be like Sea of Thieves, but way worse.
Yeah, which I couldn't really even get into Sea of Thieves when I did try to play it.
Yeah, I heard it's in a better state now, but Skull and Bones is probably going to be at a worse state than the worst version of Sea of Thieves.
Black Wake. I think that's a pirate game, right?
Maybe? I don't know. But I mean, they're not gonna have like shipboarding or anything. It's just literally ship battles, and that's it.
So originally this was like Sea of Thieves, or not Sea of Thieves. Skull and Bones was based off of Assassin's Creed 4.
It was originally
like,
gonna be
ship.
like a. They were like tossing around the idea of like a multiplayer PvP mode in Assassin's Creed 4, and that's what later became the idea of Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
So.
Which is crazy to me because in Assassin's Creed 4 you can board ships.
Yeah. It's basically like a stripped down version of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's way newer.
When did Black Flag come out? Like 2012?
Maybe? I don't know.
2013?
I don't remember its exact release date. It was somewhere around there though. It could have been 2014. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
they had better ship mechanics. I still think that's probably like one of the best pirate games ever made.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the better Assassin's Creed games too.
Yeah, that was a great game. Which I never beat because I started it on like 5 different consoles. I've always wanted to. Like it is a very fun game, and like it's a great pirate game, a great Assassin's Creed game in general. Even though you don't, for the most of the part that I played, you weren't really an assassin.
No, but Edward has like a seriously good like character
Story.
arc development in that game.
Then what ends up happening with Edward? Like he ends up just dying, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like his story after.
Yeah, I don't know, because that was part of like their initiates website where they had extra lore for everything in the whole universe. Like Edward was assassinated by like some Templar assassin in his home, or just randomly. But I don't know if that's true anymore.
Edward Kenway.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it could be, that could still be his fate. We never hear from him again, but yeah.
But yeah,
that's pretty much all of it so far.
Yeah, I think that's probably everything that we have to cover this episode. I don't actually know if it was any shorter.
Right. I feel like it was at least like an hour and a half.
We went into some pretty good detail with a lot of this stuff, I think. Not tried to keep the ranting to a minimum this time.
Yeah.
Just try to talk about it. I mean, anytime we talk about the day before, it's going to be a rant because what they did was some bullshit, and they deserve to get all the shit for it.
Well, no, dude, they did everything right.
Yeah, right.
You should get the shit for them failing.
Yeah, it's because of us. People like us, we made them fail.
Yeah.
And that's why people shouldn't ask for refunds that played the game.
Like, if you didn't like the game, it's our fault.
Yeah, exactly. No. But yeah, I mean, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right, well, that will do it for this week's podcast, everybody. We were Joystick Jabber again. I am Sly Spy Gaming, a.k.a. Ryan, and here with my co-host, FLCLAFI, a.k.a. Nick. Go and check out our socials. Go and check out our other episodes, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.